So we are live. It's about 12 minutes after 11 o'clock here on the first Sunday of 2020. Hopping on to have a couple drams before we head into the week. Seeing if 11 o'clock here on. Oh, getting some feedback already. That's awesome. Seeing what's good. If anybody's up 11 o'clock here having a dram themselves. I got a couple lined up for the night. Currently, Lagavulin Distillers Edition. This is the 2019 edition of this. This is the one that came out last year. I just got this recently and decided to open it up a little bit ago. So having a little bit of that. Probably do a little bit of Lafroig too. So it's all peat right now. Looks like we got two folks on, which is awesome. Say hi in the chat. Hey, it's Santa Cruzin. What's up, man? Good to see you. Wasn't sure who'd all be out and about here on a Sunday evening. It's a little bit late here on the East Coast, but why not? Sipper Social Club. Hey, what's up? I don't know if any of you were like me, but I've been up watching, was watching a lot of the second day of the NFL wildcard playoffs. I'm here in Philadelphia, and so while not a native Philadelphian or Eagles fan, there was Eagles unfortunately lost tonight. So this city's a little bit feeling in a bad mood, so to speak. Santa Cruzin says, "What's up, Rabbit? Hey, what's up, man? Sipper Social Club 2. Santa Cruzin just kicking back right on, man. You sipping on anything good tonight? You're over on the West Coast, if I'm not mistaken, right, Santa Cruzin? Yeah, I am actually going to top off Sipper Social Club. He's a Vikings fan. Oh, no. You got 49ers next week, right? I'm actually originally from Wisconsin, so I'm a Packers fan. So maybe our paths will cross in the NFC Championship. We'll pour a little bit more of this Distillers Edition. It's been a long day. Watching football all day takes a bit out of you. All right. Either of you ever had this one before? Oh, shit. and a New England hater. Yeah, man. Is that going to be Tom Brady's last game? I don't feel like he can end his career like that. Throwing an interception in overtime. Come on, man. That can't be how Brady goes out. We'll see, though. Oh, man. I don't know if any of you guys have had this Lagavulin Distillers Edition before, but, man, it's simply incredible. I'm not sure if I like it more than the regular 16. To be honest, I haven't had that many Lagavulins. I've had the 8, which actually I thought was really good, especially because it's at like a really solid price. Obviously, like I've had the 16 and then this Distillers Edition. I've had a sample of the 12, which I thought was great, but that stuff is crazy expensive. Santa Cruzin says, yeah, that's a good dram. Yeah. Sipper says, I'd love to see Minnesota Green Bay for a shot at the Super Bowl. I like the way you're thinking. Well, we had your number twice this year, but man, you got to be feeling good as a Vikings fan, considering that Cousins looked like he actually showed up and, got over for the first time. He was there's a lot of hate over him over the years, at least in terms of like, can he win the big game? I mean, he's always been a solid quarterback, but playoffs are a different ball game entirely, man. There were a bunch of games this weekend that I just did not know how to. I didn't know what to expect. I did not see the Patriots losing at home to the Tennessee Titans. And then, yeah, man, New Orleans, Vikings getting past New Orleans is huge. Social Club says, yeah, Lega DE is solid. Better than the 16 in your opinion. That's interesting. Right on, man. Santa Cruz, do you remember Dan the Man Marino's last game? 5 or 6 interceptions. Damn. I don't remember his last game, but I feel like Brady, I don't know, man. I feel like if they would have lost gracefully, just like straight up got beat, Brady still played a solid game. He could walk, but man, I don't know. For him to leave now, But they don't have another quarterback lined up in New England either. You got to figure this might be the end of it for them. Sippers Social Club. Vikings 100% need their run game to be going perfectly for everything else to work. Yeah, I can totally see that. I mean, I think the second game we played against, Green Bay played against the Vikings, they didn't have Cook in, right? He was hurt. I don't know. Like I said, man, the NFL is so hard to predict, man. I can never understand anything that's going on in that, man. It's really hard to figure it out. So, playoffs, man, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Brady should have left last year. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm tired of seeing the Patriots win. I'm tired of seeing them in it all the time. But, I think that guy deserves a lot of credit. I mean, to be playing the way he does at, what is he, 43, 44? How old is that dude right now? Tom Brady. 42. He'll be 43 if he plays next year. That's obscene, man. Since when are there NFL quarterbacks playing at that age? I don't think there was anybody playing at that age. And now, tonight in the Vikings game, they had Josh McCown who's 40. Man. And Drew Brees, right? Drew Brees has got to be close to 40. How old is that guy? I can't believe they lost. No offense, Sippers, man. Vikings are a solid team and all. I thought New Orleans is going to be just killing everybody this year. Yeah, Breeze is 42. Damn. You got to figure if they're going to bring him back either. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, back to what you were saying about the Lagavulin Distillers Edition. Sippers was saying that he thinks it's actually better than the 16. I'm not sure. I feel I'm going to be posting a review of this soon, so we're getting a little bit of a spoiler on it. But I love this stuff. Basically, these peated scotches with kind of the sweet sherry finishes, especially this PX. It's kind of just my perfect dram. I love the Ardbeg Uigeadail Lagavulin Distillers Edition. There's some Kilchoman's that, with that, the Loch Gorm, the Seneg. The Seneg, not as much, but the Loch Gorm, I've had a sample of. Anything where you're combining that sherried influence along with the smokiness is just perfect. And this Distillers Edition, I find the Lagavulin 16 in general to be it's a pretty complex dram. It's something that you can kind of sit with and really find a lot of stuff. And the one thing I'll say about the Distillers Edition, as much as I like it, is that I feel as though a little bit of the complexity that you get out of the 16 is kind of overwhelmed by the PX. That sweetness that you get off of this is a little bit, it's a little bit it kind of masks over some of the other stuff you get out of the 16. That said, I won't lie. I found this Distillers Edition. This is the 2019. I found this at a shop for $80, which is I don't know if I've ever seen it at a better price than $80. Sometimes maybe Santa Cruz, and you might have seen it cheaper. Those California shops, you've got really good prices out there. But I really do think that, yeah, $80, man, you just can't say no to it. Let me just catch up. Yeah, New England took advantage of a very soft division for the last decade or so and had easy passes to the Super Bowl. I think they're overrated, but like I said, I'm a hater. I mean, the Jets had a couple of years during the Brady years that they were really good. They had a stout defense, but yeah, for the most part, I agree. But still, hey, they had to win a lot of games. So I don't know. Maybe I'm being more charitable to the Patriots than I should be. Santa Cruz said the Distillers Edition Lagavulin is my favorite of the core line. I wish it was cast strength. Oh, man, you totally got it right. I think that's another thing that is kind of weak. I think this is 46, 43. Is the regular Lagavulin 16, 43%? I think it is. Man, yeah, if they could jack this up to 46 even, let alone cast strength, that would be a great release for them to do. Do a Distillers Edition cast strength line for I don't know. They can probably figure out some, 205th anniversary or something. Figure out some excuse for it. That would be amazing. Yeah. The 43% I think holds pretty well with this, but yeah, you'd love to see this up a little bit higher. Anyways, cool. We got 4 folks on, man. Good to see y'all. Happy Sunday fun day. Donner Pass is in the house. Hey, Donner Pass, how you doing, man? Happy 2020. Hope you guys all had a good New Year. Yeah, what is the Lagavulin 8 at? Is that one also at 43%? Let me take a look here. I got a second monitor thing set up in here so I can kind of bounce back and forth. Yeah, it is. Man, you'd love to see them just kick this up to 46. You know it isn't going to happen, but what about that? Did any of you guys try that 11-year-old? Oh, no. The Lagavulin 8 is at 48%. Shit. I didn't even realize that. Right. They're doing that right. That's cool. Yeah, let me just double check the 16. I'm almost positive that the Lagavulin 16 is at 43%, but let me just double check it. Why not? I don't want to be talking out of my ass. And Master of Malt does not give you the specs easily. The website is kind of whack. Yeah, it is at 43%. Okay. So the Lagavulin 8 is at 48%, but the Lagavulin 16 is 43. The Distiller's Edition is 43. And then you got that Lagavulin 12 cast strength, which is awesome, but it's like $140 or something. Obviously, that one varies a little bit. Donner Pass says, hey, Santa Cruz, and where do you get that Glenallachie 13 cast strength indie bottle you were talking about on Throttles Live? Total Wine in San Jose. Oh, man. Donner Pass, where are you? Man, California, I'll tell you, when I lived in D.C., which was a state you could get, like, pretty much anybody would ship to, or, well, not a state, but you know what I'm saying. Man, there are some shops out there that got ridiculous prices for some of these single malts. I think I got a couple bottles of Ardbeg Uigeadail from a place called, was it Third Base or Remedy? One of the two. It was like $55 or something like that. It's like absurd. I mean, out here in PA, I'm in Philadelphia. I mean, and the bottles of that stuff are like $90. Even in DC at the regular shops, when you'd walk in, they were like $110 or something. So, man, you're in a gold mine out there, Santa Cruz, and especially if you get stuff shipped. I'd love to hear about that Glenallachie 13 cast strength. Damn. It was an indie bottling? What is it, like Gordon MacPhail or something like that? Man, I'd love to get my hands on something like that. I've only had one of their bottles in the past. I think it was the 12. And, you know, I thought the 12 was solid. I wasn't blown away by it, but I thought it was really good. I guess they also have like a 10-year-old cast strength. Is it 10 or 12 years old? That was like their first, it was like their first release, like batch. It's like batch 1 or something, right when kind of the Glenallachie stuff came on the scene. Oh, Santa Cruz says Alexander Murray. Oh, no kidding. Okay. Those are the ones you can find at like Total Wine and Costco, but they just have these like obscene bottlings, like old bottlings that are at really good prices. They had at Costco, I think Alexander Murray had a Bunnahabhain that was like, it was like a 20 year, 23 year, and it was like $130 or something. That's crazy cheap. Man. Yeah, there's just nothing wrong with the Lagavulin Distiller's Edition. That's really, really good stuff. I'm going to have a review. I just recorded it earlier, so I'm going to have that up for you in a couple weeks. Man, I don't know. You know, I'd have to get another bottle of the Lagavulin 16 and to really do a comparison. I actually haven't. I've only had one bottle of that ever. And I remember liking it a lot, but at the time, I had been into the peated stuff for a little while, and I was just really like a Laphroaig Ardbeg lover. And so when I got the Lagavulin 16, I kind of was, as funny as it sounds, I was a little bit let down. I just thought it was kind of, I don't know, it was just, you know, when you first get into the peated stuff, at least for me, it was a lot of wanting that, like, just as heavy as smoky as you can get it. And then the Lagavulin 16 just fell short compared to like what was it? Yeah, like Laphroaig quarter cask or Laphroaig the Laphroaig 10 and the Ardbeg 10 and the Uigeadail. Like I just kind of thought like, this isn't really all that great. I don't know. Everybody's hyping on it. I think if it would have been one of the first peated scotches I got into, I wonder if I would have had a different opinion on that. The thing about this Lagavulin Distillers Edition, that wine finish just makes it so smooth. This is, I mean, you can see, man, I've done some damage to this already. This is dangerously sippable stuff. It just goes down quick. Yeah. 2019. So it's still 16 years old. I think that's cool. Have any of you had any of the other Distillers Editions? For all the crap that I think people can give Diageo, rightly so, for kind of what they've done with whiskey, I do feel like some of the Distillers Editions have been kind of, well, I guess I would put it as like welcome variations on some really good scotches. A couple of them are really hard to find. I've never seen out in the wild. I've never seen the Caol Ila. I've never seen the Cragganmore. The ones I've had the Talisker, which I think is the best of all the Distillers Editions. The Talisker Distillers Edition, and I'm not a huge Talisker fan, but I think that their Distillers Edition is just amazing. It does what it needs to that whiskey to make me like it, which is great. The Lagavulin obviously is really good. The Oban Distillers Edition I thought was pretty tasty. I had a sample of that a while back. Who else did? I've never had the Dalwhinnie. I think there are a couple more that do Distillers Editions. Let me take a look here. Yeah, they got a whole series of these. There's a Glenkinchie too, man. I've never had anything from Glenkinchie. Yeah, Cragganmore. I've never seen the Cragganmore. Yeah, there's Glenkinchie, Lagavulin, Oban, Royal Lochnar. I haven't had that. Talisker and Caol Ila. Yeah, I've never seen a Caol Ila either. Oh, there's a Clynelish too. I've never seen that either. I'd love to be able to try all of these eventually. But yeah, sadly, the ones that I see most of the time I see the Dalwhinnie around a lot. I've just never bought it. I've had the Dalwhinnie 15. It just didn't seem like something that I wanted to, spend more money on to get the Distillers Edition for. Yeah, never seen the Glenkinchie. Obviously, I've seen the Oban. The Oban is not always easy to find. The Royal Lochnar, I haven't seen that anywhere. And the Talisker I see everywhere. Yeah, I'd be curious if any of y'all have had any of those and which ones you like. We got 5 people watching now. What's up? How's everybody doing? Donner Pat. Oh, Santa Cruz and said Alexander Murray. Okay, got that. Are you in a state that doesn't allow shipping rabbits? Says Donner Pat. Yeah, man, Donner Pass, dude. So I moved from DC, where I think I was in DC when I started doing posting reviews. I moved to Philadelphia, so a couple hours north, and so PA is one of these states that has, basically a liquor control board. So there's no independent liquor stores in Pennsylvania. It's all government stores at a place called Fine Wine and Good Spirits. So you basically find yourself in a situation where if you don't have it at Fine Wine Good Spirits, you're not finding it anywhere. To their credit, their prices are decent. Their prices are actually pretty decent. And you can also go on their website and have things shipped to you and order it online. So like if you don't find what you want at a certain shop, you can, find a shop that has it and they'll send it to you. It's not the worst pricing in the world. On some things, they also do like lotteries. If you're into bourbons, they'll do like, lotteries for all the Buffalo Trace antique collection stuff, things like that. They don't get everything that you would want. Sadly, like there are certain single malts that they just won't carry. Like for Lagavulin, for example, I never see the Distiller's Edition on there. It's always the 8 and the 16, and that's it. So that's a bummer. But luckily for me, so being in Philadelphia, I'm literally right across the river from New Jersey. And in Jersey, it's a free-for-all, kind of like a normal state. Normal state that wasn't founded by Quakers, right? So you can hop over there pretty easily and, find what you're looking for. They got good prices. I'm actually part of a whiskey society, the Philadelphia Whiskey Society, that a lot of folks from South Jersey is basically considered the suburbs of Philadelphia. And so there's a lot of stores over there that like work with our whiskey society, so we can get special bottlings and whatnot. So there's a place over there, one place in particular that I'll go pretty frequently to kind of find stuff that I can't find on the government controlled websites. But yeah, it ain't like California, man. California does it right. Like I was saying earlier, man, like I used to get so much stuff sent to me when I lived in DC just because the prices were so good from these California stores. Third Base, Remedy. There's a place called like High Times Wine Cellars, I think. Is that what they were called? And they would all ship to DC, and so you could find stuff. High Times, actually, if you're out there and you're into Four Roses, they do a bunch of pretty solid Four Roses barrel strength picks. Like the Four Roses has like 10 batch variations that they do for their barrel strength picks. They get pretty decent ones. Not always the oldest, but they were pretty good and not bad price. If you're into that, check it out. Santa Cruzan says Trader Joe's has Alexander Murray Glen Moray 12 cask strength for $34. Just picked up a couple up last week. I have never had a Glen Moray, but I always see that the prices on the Glen Moray are always really solid. That's like a space ad, right? But man, cask strength 12 for $34, that's totally worth it, right? I mean, that's basically like the price of a bottle of Johnny Walker Red. Yeah, where is Glen Moray? Yeah, they're definitely like they're a space hider. Yeah, for sure. I've never had anything from them. This year, I'm hoping to like expand and start kind of buying stuff from distilleries that I've never had things from before. Last year, I kind of got deep into like 18-year-olds and older. I basically stocked up on a bunch of stuff that I could get before I moved. So I got it at reasonable prices. But now I'm thinking about revisiting some things and doing more bourbons, to be honest. The Scotch, what is it? The tariff, the supposed 25% tariff hasn't really hit any of the prices I've seen yet around here. Be curious if any of y'all have seen prices starting to go up around you, but I haven't seen anything here yet. But I do think that eventually that's going to come unless something happens. And so I think trying to mix in a few more bourbons this year for reviews is going to be fun. I have a bunch of stuff that I've just been sitting on for a while. I've been doing the Elijah Craigs still because I usually get those as quickly as they come out, the different batches that come out. But Santa Cruz says, blows me away how the laws can be so different. She says, yeah, man, the U.S. is weird like that. I think there's got to be like 10 to 12 different states that, have their own like shipping laws and whatnot. Some states you can only get wine, you can't get spirits. So it's really strange here, man. I don't know if you've ever been to Pennsylvania. So in addition to not being able to have liquor shipped to you, you can have wine shipped to you. But if you want to go to the store to get like a bottle of whiskey and beer, you got to go to separate stores. So you can buy wine and spirits in the same store, but they can't sell beer. You have to go to a beer shop. There's a special, which can be private. So there's private beer stores all over Philly, all over Pennsylvania, but not liquor and wine. All that has to be run through the state. I don't know. It's crazy, man. Speaking of crazy, I'm going to go back into one of my favorite whiskeys, the Freud 10 cask strength. if you haven't checked it out yet, I did a video a couple weeks ago when I finally did my like number one or top 5 Laphroaigs, because I think this is the distillery that I've probably had the most from and definitely have the most bottles from. I think when I got into the peated scotches, it was Laphroaig was like my favorite. Since then, I think I'm getting really into the Kilchoman's now, but I still got a soft spot for Laphroaig. And this is the 10 cask strength. This is from 2000. This is the 2018, so this is batch 10. Just freaking amazing stuff. If you've not had that before, they have a new one out now. They actually changed the label on it. So as you can see, like basically for the last few years, the Laphroaig 10 cask strengths have looked like this, where they kind of got this red bar on it indicating it's the cask strength and has the like bottle date or bottled month and batch. So they've changed this to like being black now. So the batch 11, which should be out everywhere now. It's really good. Yeah, I don't know why they changed the label, but thing with this one though, you got to put some water on it. This thing is heavy. But I don't know, man. This is one of those that it's hard to get a better bargain, I think. Santa Cruz says we get the booze, but not the console. Where are you in Cali? Yeah, man. I'm assuming you're in Santa Cruz, but maybe that's where you grew up or something. Yeah, man. Nowhere's perfect, right? You're not always gonna be able to get what you want. In PA, I don't know if there's I don't know what gun regulations are like in Pennsylvania yet. I haven't been here that long. With the Eagles losing tonight, though, I'm not staying out of the establishments, man. The Philly fans are an interesting characters. It's hard to get the Laphroaig, the cask strength Laphroaig locally here. Oh, man, that's a bummer. Hit up Remedy, man. I'm sure Remedy's got it. Was that what it was called? Remedy liquor? Oh yeah, it still pops up if I type REM in my Google search. Remedy liquors, yeah. Oh man, I wish this place could ship to me. They got such great prices on stuff. Let me look for you, brother. If you just type Laphroaig, their website's janky, but man, their prices ain't. Yeah, man, they don't have the 10 cask strength. You're right. Damn. What's up with that? Oh, they do have the have you had the Carchus? Oh no, wait, they do. Oh no, it's out of stock. Damn. $68.99 though. Come on. That's unbelievable. Hey, they have an Alexander Murray 12-year Laphroaig at Remedy right now for $109. So, but Santa Cruz, and have you had the Laphroaig 10 or the Laphroaig Carchus 2019, the triple wood cask strength? Looks like they got that one here too. That one was pretty solid. I don't think it was a world beater. I really do feel like let me think now. In 2019, I had 3 new Laphroaigs, or the ones that were released last year. I've had the cask strength batch 11, which is good. The Carchus, which is the triple wood cask strength, which was like, it was okay. I don't think it's as great as it could have been. I don't know. I really expected that to be amazing because in 2017, the Laphroaig Carchus was the quarter cask of cask strength, which I think is an amazing Laphroaig. I think it's probably the most intense Laphroaig I've had. I think that one was bottled at like 59%. I mean, it is just intense, man. So I had the triple wood cask strength, and I don't know. It was kind of a mess. It just didn't hit all the notes you would expect, because I was actually kind of a fan of the triple wood. And then I've had the Laphroaig 16, which was that Amazon release that they did on Amazon only in the UK, but there were some select stores in the US that had it. I got a couple bottles of the Laphroaig 16, which really excited me because I'm like, shit, man, an age statement Laphroaig coming out, that's amazing. It was first fill bourbon, so that was kind of interesting. I think the other stuff has always been ex-bourbon. So this was a first fill bourbon release, 48%. Man, it was like on paper, it just looks like it's going to be phenomenal. If you've had the Laphroaig 18, you're thinking, shit, this is going to be a great dram. It wasn't. It's middling. above average, but not stellar. I think I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. If I reviewed it again, maybe after oxidization, it might go a little bit lower even. It just, I don't know, man. It felt like they were using some tired casks or something. For 16 years, it just didn't seem it had near the complexity that a 16-year-old whiskey from Laphroaig should deserve, considering that the 18 was just like amazing. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I think that the 2020 Laphroaig Cartius is supposed to be, I think they're going back and doing a portwood and red wine finish. So I don't know what that's going to be like. I don't know what Ardbeg is doing. Have any of you seen what Ardbeg is doing for the for their committee release this year? And for that matter, have you had the drum from last year? Oh, Santa Cruz says, what if you put a small amount of the Laphroaig cast strength in the Lagavulin Distillers Edition? Hey, man, that's not a bad idea. Why don't we do it? Let me grab a glass. Let's see what happens. Let's see what we got here. Why not? Let's see what happens with this. Oh, one sec. All right. All right, man. We're going to make a Santa Cruzan special right here. We're going to do Lagavulin Distillers Edition. This is at 43%. The 2019. And then we're going to just put a few drops of this Laphroaig 10 cast strength in it. Man, I hope this doesn't explode on contact. There we go. All right. So this one is at 58%. It can only get better, right? How could mixing two great whiskeys together actually make it worse? I don't know. We're going to find out. As far as I know, I'm not sure if this is aged in the sherry at all. Let's take a look. Yeah, I'm not even really sure. I think it is ex-sherry. It's not just ex-bourbon, right? Let's see what distiller.com's got to say about this. In the meantime, I'm going to let this sit for just a second. Move it around. So the nose still seems to be overpowered by the PX on the Lagavulin, but give it a second. All right, Laphroaig 10 cast strength. Just says used oak barrels. All right. Anyways, happy trails. Yeah, here we go. You know what, Santa Cruzan? That was a good idea. Basically, it just gave it a lot more gusto on the development. The PX is still really predominant, like that sweet finish, but right in the middle of this, it seems like it's got a lot more heft, and that's definitely from that cast strength. That's not a bad idea. This might be fun to experiment with like an infinity bottle or something like that. Good deal. Yeah. I should send a sample of this to Lagavulin and be like, hey, see what they have to say about it. Maybe it'll knock some sense into them and they'll up the ABV on that Distillers Edition. Oh, hey, Whiskey Ace in the house. What's up, Whiskey Ace? How you doing, man? Happy 2020. We're just still a couple of folks on. Yeah, cool. We were just adding some Laphroaig 10 cast strength to this Lagavulin Distillers Edition and seeing what happens. The preliminary results are positive. Good thinking, Santa Cruzan. Oh, I also have a Laphroaig, straight up Laphroaig 10 cast strength. This is the January 2018 version, which I think was probably one of the better ones I've had. Anyway, so Whiskey Ace, you might actually have had some more of these distillers editions. Earlier, we were chatting with Donner Pass and a couple of folks about the distillers editions out of Diageo. And I was saying that outside of the Talisker and Lagavulin and to some extent the Oban, we actually really haven't found. I don't see a lot of the other ones. Oh, and the Dalwhinnie. I don't see a lot of the other ones readily available. Have you had any of these? There's a Kalila Distillers Edition. There's a Cragganmore. Even if you've had the Dalwhinnie, there's a Royal Lochagar, and yeah, I've never seen any of those before. I'd be curious if you've seen any of those in the wild. I was going to actually take a look on Wine Searcher later tonight and see if those things actually exist anywhere. But I'd love to try them. I really, like I was saying, I think the Distillers Edition stuff. Oh, wait, there's a Clynelish too. If you've had the Clynelish, that's another one I haven't seen anywhere. I think in general, though, as much shit as, like I was saying, as much shit as Diageo gets for, some of the practices they do and the fact that they own like half the freaking world, I think it's cool that, they've maintained the integrity of some of these classic malts. And then, when they did the distillers editions, it's like, for example, like the Lagavulin, right? It's not like they went to an NAS version. It's not like they like watered it down significantly. I mean, they don't put age statements on it, but they put distilled year and bottled years on it. And it's still 16 years old. Like this was distilled 2003, bottled 2019. So it's literally it's still the Lagavulin 16, I guess. And then they just are maturing it in an additional PX cask. So I think it's cool that they actually did that. Like they very easily could have just went NAS with this. And I'm assuming that, they've done the same thing with the Talisker. I know that because I have the Talisker. But I'm assuming that they've done that with the rest of them too. But I'd be curious if anybody's had any of them. Whiskey Ace said, I've only had the Lagavulin 16 distillers once. I had the same batch 10, but saw batch 11 yesterday. Yeah, dude, batch 11 is great. Batch 10 is great. From Laphroaig, batch 11 is great. Either one, you can't go wrong. I don't think you can go wrong. I have the 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, and they're all great. And the batch variation is significant. Like you get a different experience out of each one of them, which is part of why I think they're one of the best values in Scotch. You get something new each time. It's readily available for the most part. Unfortunately, Santa Cruzan can't find it too much out in California, I guess. But for the most part, it's readily available. So if you find one that you really, really like, you can stock up on 2 or 3 and have it. Which is why I think the Laphroaig 10 cast strength is the best thing that they do. I think if you're going to drink one Laphroaig, it's the way to go. Although this Lagavulin 16 with the 3 parts Lagavulin 16, 1 part Laphroaig 10 cast strength is pretty great. So Santa Cruzan might have the right idea. I might have to infinity bottle this at some point in time. Just get a couple bottles of each and fuck around with it until it can make the right ratio. Yeah, I don't remember them bumping up the lag distillers ABV that much. Yeah, that's the thing, man. Like, it would be great. I'm sure that some anniversary is coming up that they could justify making a Laphroaig, or I'm sorry, like doing some special release of like the distillers edition, right? It was just the 200th a few years ago. Maybe in 2021 they do the 205th anniversary edition. A cast strength version of the distillers edition would be pretty good. But I'm actually really curious about this Clynelish. It looks like it's, I don't know. I'm actually going to take a look here. Winesearcher.com is just an incredible website. So here it is. It's double matte and matured in Oloroso Secco cask wood. This is the Kleinleash Distillers Edition. Yeah, it's relatively available. WineDelight.com in Cupertino, Santa Cruz, if you're ever looking for it. It's $150 though. Damn. That's brutal. They got it in someplace in Tennessee for $80, but yeah, these are ones that if I see, I would just have to grab. I think the only one I would really avoid is the Dalwhinnie. I don't really care much. I don't know. I've had the Dalwhinnie 15. It was a really honey sweet, nice single malt. I got nothing against it, but I don't think I would buy it again. It's just not really my style. I've been enjoying the latest Triple Wood Carchus as well. Yeah, the Carchus. I think I liked it. I was expecting to be a little bit more wowed by it, but all in all, I thought it was a solid dram. I like the Triple Wood, and so I was expecting this one was going to be just a killer. And I think it came a little short for me, but it's nothing to sneeze at. And to be honest, I think the last 3-4 years of the Carchus releases have been really good. The Triple Wood Distillers, or the Triple Wood Cask Strength, was good. In 2018, what was it? 2018, Fino. The Fino cask was really good. And 2017 was the Quarter Cask Cask Strength, which I think is probably the best one I've had. 16. Madeira. That was the Madeira. That one was I didn't love. It was a little bit too ashy, but it's not a bad whiskey by any stretch. And I think you can still find the Madeira around as well. But yeah, and so I was saying earlier, I read online. I don't know if I can't confirm that it's true, but I guess what I'm hearing is that the 2020 Laphroaig Carchus is going to be a port pipe red wine finish. So I think in 13 they did a port wine finish or a port finish for the Carchus. I guess they're bringing it back, but they're adding a red wine thing to it too as well. So we'll see if that's what it comes out being. I know I'll buy it no matter what. So, so maybe it'll be fun to, it'll be fun to at least try, I'm sure. But I haven't really had much red wine finish. I have a Kilchoman red wine finish, or red wine matured. It's actually not even red wine finished. It's like fully matured in a red wine barrel, but I haven't cracked it open yet, so I'm not sure what to expect. I got a couple Kilchomans that I'm going to load up for this year. I have a single cask sherry, just like it's 60%. It's only a 5-year-old, but it's at like 60% ABV. I got the STR cask, and then I grabbed the red wine finish. So I got a couple Kilchomans. I think this will be really fun to try in 2020. So I'll probably sip on those and maybe eventually do a review of them. To catch up with the chat, Santa Cruz said the Dalwhinnie Distillers Edition didn't seem any different than the 15-year-old, just more money. Right. That's the thing about the Distillers Edition is like, I was suspect about it because I figured it was, when I first saw it, I was like, this just seems like a money grab. It's going to be, it didn't have the age statement on it anymore, but as you look closer, right, at least with the Lagavulin, and I know with the Talisker is still 10 years old. This is still Lagavulin 16. At least they maintain the integrity on that. But yeah, Dalwhinnie, I don't know. I'm not sure I would even bother with that. I liked the Dalwhinnie 15 enough, but I don't think I'd buy it again. Whiskey Ace said, I dug all those. Oh, I'm assuming you're talking about the Carchus. Balzac says, how do you rank batch 11 amongst the 10 cask strength batches? That's a good question. I haven't had all the cask strength batches. I've had batch 7, batch 8, batch 9, batch 10, and batch 11. I find that batch 11 is most like batch 7. And what I mean by that is the the peat, the like heavy smoke peat that you get on the nose of most Laphroaigs. With the Batch 11, it's more subdued. It's like a meaty, like the whiskey I think has a lot more like meaty notes, which is what I got off Batch 7 as well. So I just like, I mean, the smoke and stuff is still there. It's just not as heavy as in your face. I mean, the 10, which is what I'm drinking right now, is heavy smoke in your face. The 11 I thought was a little bit more subtle. It was a little bit more complex. And I liked it. Like I said about the 10 cast strength, it's a great price and it's a change of pace. You get something, you get a different profile each time, but it's all excellent for the most part. I haven't had a bad one, although I haven't had them all. And probably never will, given how hard it is to get most of them, the older ones at least. So like the Batch 7 and the Batch 11 I thought were somewhat similar in that they're like the real, like when you sip it, the real like special part of it is really the development. I think it's like it's much more subtle with the peat smoke, but it's complex. It's a really like meaty, hefty whiskey. It's like it would be great with a steak, I think. Whereas the 10, which I also really love, is much more of just like the smoke bomb in your face. So there's some difference. So I don't know. I think this Batch 10 from 2018 is honestly probably my favorite, but it's hard, man. It's hard to remember what the other ones tasted like specifically. Batch 9 and Batch 10 I thought were both really, really good. Batch 11 I think is right behind it, but not by much. Whiskey Aces sounds good. I didn't pick up Batch 11, but I'm considering. Yeah, I mean, you should get it. If you've had the Batch 10, grab the Batch 11 just so you can experience the difference. You won't be disappointed with it. Like I said, it's a little bit of a different, things arrive differently. The Batch 10, it's like heavy peat smoke in your face. It's very ashy. Whereas the 11, it's like a little more subtle and like it's the development where it really hits. I think you would enjoy it just like comparing the two. I don't think that you would be disappointed with either. So I think it's totally worth it. Cool. So yeah, that's our rant on Laphroaig. I'm interested though, if any of you have had the 16 yet. Man. Okay, you know what the other thing about the Laphroaig 10, the cast strength Batch 10, it's sharp. It's got sharp edges. The 11, I don't think they're as sharp as this. Meaning that like it's not as well rounded. It's not as, I guess for lack of a better term, it doesn't feel like it's like it was in the same type of cast. Like this might have been this one just tastes more youthful. And I think for like peated scotches like this, especially like Laphroaig, youth is actually works in its favor a little bit. If you want that just like heavy, aggressive peat smoke, the more youthful, the better. And I think that the Laphroaig 10 here is really, I think for the Laphroaig 10, Batch 10, I wonder if it's just the casks weren't just quite of the same quality. Balzac. Love that name, man. Welcome to the channel. Hit subscribe if you haven't yet. This is very nice. Whiskey says, yeah, I read 11 was very balanced. Definitely. Yeah, I think you would really like it. And I'd definitely be curious if you get a chance to try it. Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Did you narrow down a whiskey of the year? Yeah, I did. So this is interesting. I posted a video up, I think, 2 weeks ago. So here's what I realized, and I'll be curious what your opinion is on it, but I landed basically in a position where the whiskey of the year that I had last year was Bruichladdich Blackheart 4.1. But, the goal of my channel and the goal of like my doing videos isn't just to like tell people how amazing expensive whiskey is. It's really to like, I think price matters. And so I take price into a factor in how I rate whiskey, how I talk about whiskey, because like, I don't have a ton of money. And most folks who I think like want to try good stuff, we're not like ballers, with hundreds of thousands of dollars where we can spend a shitload on expensive whiskey. So yeah, I got to try an amazing whiskey last year, and it was probably the best whiskey I've ever had, and that was the Bruichladdich Black Art. So that was my whiskey of the year. And so the way I did it was when I got to number one, I split it up into two. I said, look, I have a top shelf number one whiskey, which was the Bruichladdich Black Art. But then I have a top shelf of under $100, which is more my price range and more honestly what I think the price range of most folks is. And for me this year, that was the Glen Scotia 15. The Glen Scotia 15 was my favorite. And the reason for that was like, I didn't want, it's criminally underpriced. It's really, really high quality, just an amazing dram. And so I split it up. Yeah. I think going forward next year, I don't know. I might just continue doing like, this is my whiskey of the year in the top shelf category. This is my whiskey of the year in like the everyday dram. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but yeah, I really couldn't decide because there's no way I could not have Glen Scotia or not have the Bruichladdich Black Art in my number one whiskey of the year. There's no way. It's the best whiskey I've ever had. But I'm also like, man, if I'm watching a whiskey video and I'm excited to like hear somebody's number one whiskey because it's going to make me want to buy it, I'm not going to come at you and be like, here's my $400 whiskey, go buy this, right? Like I want to be able to like provide my dumb 2 cents on a whiskey that like is something people can actually afford to get. And so I split it up in two. So I ended up with Glen Scotia 15 as my number one for like under $100. And then, yeah, man, if you got a bunch of money or you're looking for the unicorn bottle, get the Bruichladdich Black Art 4.1. So that's the way I ended up doing it. The other ones that made my top 5 were Springbank 12 cask strength. I got a video on this, by the way. If you haven't seen it, you can check it out. I talk a little bit about each one of them, but Springbank 12 cask strength, Bunnahabhain 18. What were the other ones? Glengarry 12 and Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. So pretty good variety of stuff. I'm glad a bourbon made it in. I'm such a homer for the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, though, so I'm not surprised that it ended up. Anyways, let me catch up on the chat. Balzac said, yeah, I have, and we'll be checking the reviews. Oh, cool. Vanessa Kitty, hey, what's up? Vanessa Kitty, I saw on a beer chat. Was it a beer chat? I think it was a beer chat the other night. Oh, fuck, I can't remember whose channel it was. That was a lot of fun. Cool to have you, man. Thanks for swinging by the live stream. Jason Fisk, what's up, man? Happy 2020. Slancha. Eric Upaller. Yeah, not so much, man. I appreciate you got my name right, though. That's cool. Santa Cruzan says, hey, Vanessa, Jason Fisk and Balzac. Oh, wow. I've been wanting to try the Glen Scotia 15. Yeah, dude, Whiskey Ace, you have to. Glen Scotia 15 is criminally underpriced, under the radar dram. 46%, non-chill filtered, natural color, Campbelltown, super complex, got a little bit of peat smoke, full bodied, and I swear you can get a bottle for $60. It's absurd. I don't know how much longer that's going to last, but dude, keep your eyes peeled. Glen Scotia 15 is fantastic, especially if you love Springbank or really any of those, like from Campbelltown. If you like, I mean, it's not peated like the Long Row, or the Kilkerran for that matter, but like the Hazelburn, like I can't say enough about the Glen Scotia 15. One sec, y'all. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, Glen Scotia 15. I just finished my first bottle of it. I got another one. I think I found a place that was selling it for $57. I had to do it. It's such a good beer. It's such a good dram. Jason Fisk says hi, Santa, and says, or Bruichladdich 32 very rare. Jason Fisk, if you have Bruichladdich 32 very rare, you better send me a sample. You just have to. I can't even imagine. So that's got to be from before that Bruichladdich was mothballed. So that's got to be from like what? Early 80s? Damn. Dude, tell me for real if you have that. I'll come over to your house right now. Balzac, dude. Did you like batch C919? So good. C9. Oh, that's the Elijah Craig. Yeah. It's amazing. I don't think there's an Elijah Craig barrel proof I don't like. The C919, yeah, so that just started showing up on the shelves here in South Philly, New Jersey area. I don't think it was as good as the A119, but it's really, really, really good. Yeah, you just can't go wrong with Elijah Craig barrel proof, especially because it's like $60 to $70. I mean, man, some folks prefer the Stag Junior. To each his own. I won't get started on what I think about Stag Junior. But if you're going to compete between the two, comparing the two, Elijah Craig barrel proof is the best value in bourbon, in my opinion. That and Knob Creek single barrel. Anyways, picked up Baker's single barrel 8 years, 6 months, a few weeks ago. Says Whiskey Ace. Oh, fuck, man. That's amazing. So I just learned about this. Baker's, which I think is so Jim Beam. Let me know if I get this right, Whiskey Ace. I'm sure you probably know better than I do. So Jim Beam does this like small batch series, and they got Knob Creek, Baker's, and Booker's. And Baker's is kind of this weird middle child, right? That like most folks don't know about. But they did, unlike Booker's and Knob Creek, they just do like one release under the Baker's name. And it was like a 7-year small batch bourbon, stellar stuff. But they discontinued it, and now they're just only doing it in a single barrel variation, I guess, which I just have to freaking try because that's going to be just outstanding. The Baker stuff alone, I think, was really, really good. So let's see. Nick Sovich. Hey, Nick, man, how you doing? Happy 2020. Thanks for swinging by. Oh, we got 8 people on, 7 people on. Cool. It's good to see everybody. Nick says, got Glen Scotia 15 for $52 a cocktail. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What's up with that? The Glen Scotia 15, nobody knows the name. It's not Springbank. It's not a big single malt Scotch name. It flies under the radar. I'm telling you, you heard it here first. Get yourself a bottle of Glen Scotia 15. It's my whiskey of the year for a reason. You guys will really, really like it. Very fruity on the nose and palate initially. The bottle has opened a little, and I enjoy it more. Ooh, which one are you talking about here? I'm going to scroll back just a sec. Oh, the Bakers. Are you talking about the Bakers there, Whiskey Ace? If so, I'm interested if you get that like signature Jim Beam. It's like kind of that peanutty, nutty note that you get off the Jim Beam stuff. I wonder if you pick that up. Yeah, I got to get my hands on that Baker's. I haven't seen it anywhere. Jason Fisk says, God, no, I don't. That's my dream dram, though. Oh, you're talking about that 30-year? Yeah. 32-year Bruichladdich. I wonder what that goes for. Let's take a look. This is going to be absurd. 32, you said it was? 32? Oh, man, I don't even see it on here. Here's a 26. What's this? Oh, that's the black art. Oh, man. I have to find this. Oh, I found it. 32-year-old rare cask series. Hey, memo to our friends in California. High Times Wine Cellars has the 32-year-old Bruichladdich rare series for the low price of $799. You heard it here first. Go grab it. Remedy has it for $8.99. Remedy isn't even coming in the cheapest. Damn. Let's see. Oh, hey, they got it at a place by me in DC for $1,100. No, I don't think I'll be trying that, Jason. I wish. This case says C919 hasn't appeared in Pittsburgh yet, but we have some of the A9. Yeah, dude, the A119 is so good. Oh, that's right. You're in Pittsburgh, man. Dude, yeah. So Pittsburgh, yeah, you don't have the same luxury as I do. I can hop across the border into Jersey. So the South Jersey has the batch, the Elijah Craig C919 all over the place now. I grabbed a couple this weekend. They had a Total Wine at a place called Victor's for $54 a bottle. It was amazing. I got more than one for sure. Paul Zek said, "Hi, dude, I agree with you." Jason Fish's latest Stag Junior is getting rave reviews. Man, I saw that batch 12 Stag Junior or whatever is like getting rave reviews. That'll be the first rave review that I'll ever believe on Stag Junior, to be honest. My quick thoughts on the Stag Junior are like, number one, it's way overpriced. I remember 2 years ago, 3 years ago, no, 2 years ago, you could find Stag Junior when it would come out, it'd be $60 a bottle, fair price. Now it's like 80, and on secondary market it's like over 100, which is just absurd. It's a 7 to 8 year old barrel proof whiskey. It's a hot mess. I don't think I've ever had one that I could really understand. I've had, admittedly, just a couple different barrel variations of it. It was always super hot, which I guess you'd expect for the ABV, but like the flavor profile was just all scattered all over the place. I could just never like pin down what this whiskey was trying to do. And when you compare it to the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, which is 12 years old, similar mash bill each time, cheaper, I just don't think there's much comparison. That said, I've heard a lot about this new Stag Junior 12, batch 12, not 12 year, it's just batch 12. So if I find a bottle, I'm willing to try it again. It's not that I'm like anti-Stag or anything. I've just never had a Stag Junior that I thought was really all that great. Especially considering you can find Knob Creek Single Barrel at 60%, 9 years old, for less than $50 anywhere. And their barrel picking program is so robust. You can find store picks of the Knob Creek Single Barrel all over the country for like $50 that are like 11 years old, 12 years old. I have a couple that are 15 years old that I got for $50. Come on, man. You can't mess with that. $50 for a 15-year-old 60 ABV bourbon. It's absurd that like anybody would pay double that for a 7-year-old Stag Junior that's a hot mess. I don't know. I just don't get it. But I could be wrong. Somebody send me a sample. Maybe I can be proved wrong. All right. Let me catch up in the chat. You know what? Since we're going to go a little bit longer, I'm going to need something else, and I know what it's going to be. One sec. All right. Last year, I'm going to bring it home for tonight. Kilchoman Mocker Bay, but it's a little bit of a twist on it. This is a cast strength Mocker Bay from the Meet the Pete Tour 2019. So this is bottled at 58.6% Mocker Bay. If you've had the Mocker Bay before, really, really great. It's an NAS out of Kilchoman, but it's really good. But I'll tell you, this cast strength one, it's a killer. I should probably wash this glass out, but whatever. We can handle it right. It's already Monday morning in theory. All right. Cast strength. All right, let's catch up with the chat, y'all. Whiskey Ace. Yeah, Baker's used to be small batch 7-year. It's still at least 7-year, but the bottle I bought is a little older. That's fucking awesome. I gotta get my hands on that. Jason Fisk says 1,200 Canadian. Oh, he must be talking about that Bruichladdich. Oh, Fisk, you're in Canada. That's right. I don't know what that's equivalent of. I don't know what the Canadian exchange rate is with the US, but yeah, I know shit's a little expensive, more expensive in Canada. We still have the older Santa Cruz, and we still have the older bottling of Baker's here. 32 goes for $8.99. Yeah, man. Santa Cruz, and grab a couple bottles. Send us some samples. I know you got a couple grand to throw down on some 32-year-old Bruichladdich. What's up, man? This guy says not a lot of peanut, maybe more cherry strawberry, a lot of oak spice. Oh, you're talking about that Baker's. Oh, man. I wonder if we can find. So is it called Baker's Single Barrel, or is it just called like straight up Baker's? Oh, here it is. Oh, this is interesting, man. So I just threw it into Wine Searcher, and it's coming up Baker's Single Barrel 13-year-old. What? No, that can't be right. This has got to be some special release or something. Early batches were hot and bad for sure. I mean, if you're talking about Stag Junior, that's probably true. Like I said, yeah, those are the only ones I had. So my opinion of that stuff is a bit tainted, I guess. But ECBP is the gold standard for bourbon. Yeah, for sure. I totally agree. Santa Cruz says, Jason, that's a fact. Whiskey Ace says, Baker's is vanilla, mixed berry, cinnamon spice. Dig it. Oh, man, that sounds so good. I got to get my hands on this new Baker's. This is going to be on my list for 2020. So I'm interested, though, like you mentioned, when you talk about bourbons that are wait, what did he say? Oh, yeah, gold standard. Okay. I think there are a couple that kind of fall into that range. I mean, I think the Elijah Craig for sure. Here's my opinion. I don't know if you guys agree with me on this. So that Elijah Craig barrel proof is bottled. That's a 12-year. Another really good one is the E.H. Taylor barrel proof. I've never had a bottle. I've only had a sample. It's amazing. But what's interesting about it is like the older you get with bourbon, past like 12 years, I feel like the bourbons get worse. I have a bottle of this Orphan Barrel Rhetoric 20. It's like 25-year-old bourbon, and I swear to God, it's the most over oaked whiskey I've had. I've even had samples of the Elijah Craig 18 and the Elijah Craig 23, which I thought were which like go for like $500 to $700 or whatever. I think they're just awful. Like they're just, everything is, all of the complexity and like unique flavors you get out of it are just completely wiped out by this like intense, dry, tannic oak. I'm curious if you've ever had a bourbon that was over, say, 15 years that you thought was worth the money you paid for it. I really do think, I mean, obviously there's the climate difference, right? A 15-year-old Scotch, you're further north because it's colder. It's not, the barrels don't breathe as much. It's not as much influence at once. It's more of a slow and low burn, whereas bourbon, it's like it ages quicker. But you see all these bourbons where they're trying to advertise themselves as being so, well-aged and all this. I just don't think there's that much good bourbon that's very old. I think that 12-year zone where you find the Elijah Craig barrel proof, that's the sweet spot. That's right where you want to be. Like I said, I had the Elijah Craig 18, and I was just like, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that was a $400 bottle of bourbon. A friend of mine had won one in some type of raffle, and I was like, man, and he was super impressed. I was like, and the Orphan Barrel stuff too. I regret I bought it because I was hyped on it. I was like, oh, I got to get this Orphan Barrel. It's 25. No, it's not 25 years old. I was mistaken. It's 24. Dude, it's garbage. It's garbage compared for like, a third of the price. I could get a bottle of Elijah Craig barrel proof, or a Knob Creek single barrel, or Stag Junior, or maybe Stag Junior. There are a couple other bourbons right in that range. So I'm interested if you've had any good experiences with really like highly aged bourbons. Oh, let's see what we got going here. You could probably borrow Lefroy's slogan, ECBP, the richest of all. Yeah, totally, man. Totally. And you show me an Elijah Craig barrel proof that isn't a grade A whiskey. I'll be surprised. That's the new one, 13 years. That's the new one, 13 years old, and the 7. Oh, so the Baker's is a 13-year-old? Man, okay. So like we were just talking about with bourbon ages, that might be a sweet spot. Agreed. Whiskey Ace, says Jason Fisk. Totally unimpressed with Elijah. Oh, that's ECB. Yeah, Elijah Craig 18, way overrated. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. Weeders must age better. Yeah, maybe. I don't even know. I'm trying to think what weeded ones. I've had some of the Pappies. I've had the Lot B. I've had the 15. I think I had the 23. I'm not sure. And they're all good. Obviously not worth the price, but they're good. They're really good. And I don't really love the weeded stuff. I think the Wellers are also just like, I'm not sure what the hype is on Weller, but to each his own. There are a couple other weeded bourbons. So speaking of weeded bourbons, Larceny, which I think the regular Larceny is better than the Weller Special Reserve, but that's just me. They're doing a cast strength version of that, which I think would be good. I've never had the Maker's Mark cast strength, which I think was probably going to be really good. That's got to be a really good bourbon if you're into the weeded stuff. Rabin Red looks like I see about 14 bottles of Baker's spread across 4 stores in Philadelphia. Oh shit! I wonder if Whiskey Ace. I wonder if it's the one you were talking about, that single barrel, or if it's the old Baker's. I mean, either way, I love the old Baker's. Man, that's good. Santa Cruz's Lagavulin Distillers Edition Lafroig 10 cast strength, a hybrid cocktail was on point. Oh man, Whiskey Ace is gonna have me going out shopping tomorrow with this. Whiskey Ace says, I enjoyed a Logic Creek 23 when I sampled it in Kentucky, but I wasn't prepared to plop $250 to $300 bottle on a bottle. Yeah, man, especially bourbon, right? Whiskey Ace for suburban sweet spot tends to be 8 to 12 years. Exactly. Hit the nail on the head. Whether it's price or honestly just like quality, it's exactly right. All this overage stuff, I don't get it. I just don't get it. I've never had one that I thought was better than something within that age range, especially when you're talking about Elijah Craig. Totally agree. The Joseph Magnus and Maker's Private Select are my favorite weeders. I have not had the Joseph Magnus, which is probably should be I should be hung up for that, considering I lived in Washington, D.C. for 3 years. I do have a bottle of the Maker's Private Select. I'm not sure what all the oak staves used in it were. I haven't opened it yet, but it looks good. And I think Maker's Mark is fine. I don't know why. I mean, a lot of people like to hate on Maker's Mark. I don't really understand why. I think the Maker's Mark is pretty decent. I think the Maker's Mark 46. Maker's Mark 46. I think that's even better. I'm just not that into weeded bourbon, but I think if you're going to get a weeder, yeah, man, I think the Larceny's fine. I think Weller's fine if you find it at the price it's supposed to be. Man, you go on these, I'm in some of these secondary market groups. You wouldn't believe the prices. If you haven't seen it yet, you wouldn't believe the prices that some of these Wellers go for. Some of these people are trying to sell Weller 12s for like $160 a bottle, where like this stuff you used, would be sitting on the shelf for $50 max. It's the bourbon craze, man. It's the weeded bourbon craze too. It's like candy for people. They love it. I don't know. So Weller did a full proof, which is like, they did like a barrel proof, which I had, and that was pretty good. And I guess they're doing a single barrel this year. But again, like a lot of it's allocated, I think. But, if I'm being totally real, I'll take that Weller money and buy some more of this Kilchoman. You can keep the Weller. In most cases, I suspect it's likely the same new single barrel 8-year-old 6-month bakers through wine and spirit sites as small batch. They're notoriously bad at updating the marketing stuff. Probably, yeah. Well, you're in PA, so you know it, you know it for sure over there in Pittsburgh. Yeah, some of the stuff the Fine Wine and Good Spirits website does isn't bad. They do a couple picks too, but like, yeah, they don't update their stuff too often. All right. You heard it here first. If you're a fan of peated single malts and you like Kilchoman and you want to buy a Mockingbird Bear Cask Strength for $70, acespirits.com. They're a place out of Minneapolis. They ship to PA. They ship, I think, to everywhere in the United States. Whiskey Ace, we should talk because I have a list of shops that for some godforsaken reason will ship to PA, but Ace Spirits is one of them. They still have a few of these Mocker Bay cask strengths. If you're looking to spend a little money on a great peated whiskey, I'd jump on that website and buy this. It's awesome. One of the better, it's probably one of the best things I've bought in the last 6 months. It's just absolutely incredible stuff. Yeah, Santa Cruzan. acespirits.com. They have Mocker Bay Cask Strength. It's called Meet the Pete Tour 2019. So what I think it is that they, and the reason it's in Ace Spirits is out of Minneapolis. Kilchoman sent one of the employees of the distillery around to talk about their whiskey. And this is what they were pouring for folks. And they gave a bunch of bottles to a couple shops in the Midwest. And Ace Spirits is one of them, and they got on their website right now. I got this about a month ago. There's probably still some on there. $68.99. Cask Strength Kilchoman Mocker Bay. Jump on it. I grabbed 2 of them, and I'm not disappointed at all. This is freaking fantastic. So I would grab one if you can, Santa Cruz, and if you're looking for it, I'm sure they ship to California. And Whiskey Ace, if you want one, I know they ship to PA because it showed up at my doorstep via FedEx. I'm thinking about buying a backup bottle. Oh, you're talking about the Bakers? Yeah, do it for sure. It sounds amazing. We should swap some samples. I know we talked about that one time. I still have your email. I'll shoot you an email within the next day or so. We can figure out a way to swap a few samples with Whiskey Ace because I probably got a couple things you'd like, and it sounds like you definitely have something I want to try, which is this Bakers for sure. Yeah, let's make it happen. Oh, we got 7 folks on still. Awesome, man. Nick Sovich says, I picked up the Maker's Mark Cask Strength 3-pack holiday special. One was, I believe, the Master Distiller Stave combo. It was one of the best bourbons I ever had. Holy shit. I'm interested. Where did you get this this holiday 3-pack? Jason Fisk says, that sounds awesome. Never seen Cask Strength Mocker. Neither had I. I didn't even know it existed, brother. Until I went on Ace Spirits. And Ace is good. Their Scotch prices are usually overpriced, but every once in a while they have some really, really good prices. A couple of months they were selling a Talisker 30 for $300. And I hemmed and hawed about it. I was like, I can't do this. I don't have $300. And finally, I convinced myself that this was a once in a lifetime. I went on and they were sold out. But yeah, Ace Spirits on bourbons, I think their prices are really usually pretty good. And they do a lot of exclusive store picks. But Meet the Pete 2019 tour, Mocker Bay Cask Strength, bottled at 58.6%, $68.99 a bottle, is on Ace Spirits right now. I would jump on there and grab this because my guess is most of the folks who shop on Ace Spirits are bourbon heads, and they don't realize that there's a Cask Strength Mocker Bay on there. I'm telling you, this is worth your money. This was bottled, July 16th. They only did 84. This is bottle 19 of 84. Jump on it. It's worth it. Santa Cruz and said, Nick, I picked up one also. I haven't opened it up yet. It was going to be a Christmas gift, but oh well. Ace, yeah, Whiskey Ace, dude. I'm gonna send you a whole list. There's a whole bunch of places that ship to PA, bro. You wouldn't believe it. I know, because there's these laws and the government. There are government-run stores. I'm telling you, Saratoga Wine Exchange delivers here. Potomac Wine and Spirits in Washington D.C. delivers to PA. Ace Spirits delivers to PA. Lovescotch.com delivers to PA. There's a whole bunch. It took a little searching, but like I basically would just go on these websites that said that they would ship to PA, and then half of them would say we don't ship spirits, and then some of them the order just went through and it showed up. So there's a bunch, man. I'll send you the list. It'll change your life. Nick Sovich says, I live in Indiana and Ace Spirits is my go-to for buying online. Great sale prices too. Yeah, totally. Santa Cruz and said Costco by me. Yeah, man. Costco gets some great prices. Yeah, Whiskey Ace, I'll email you. I got a whole list. I've made a whole list. I got it on my phone right here. I got a whole list of the shops that will deliver to PA that I've found so far. Don't tell anybody. I think I've only got 7 people watching, or the powers that be would cause problems for us. Donner Pass. Glad to see you back in the chat, buddy. Before the tariffs kicked in, I was spending too much at the Whiskey Exchange. If you ordered in the 5 to 8 bottle range, the delivery prices were good, and depending. Yeah, that's the thing, man. Totally. That's what happened to me when I was living in DC. Like, I'll be honest, like DC's. I mean, maybe San Francisco and New York might be the only 2 places more expensive to live in DC. DC's brutal, and you'd go to these shops and you would see stuff that you want to buy, and you just know it was overpriced. You know that like it was absurdly priced. So I found out, though, that DC was like liberal as hell when it comes to allowing things to be shipped online. And so I found these places out in California that were selling, like I said earlier in the show, they would do Ardbeg Ugadal for like $54 a bottle instead of $89, or in DC it was like $110. But you pay like $20 FedEx shipping. But if you got 2 bottles, it was like $23. If you got 3 bottles, it was like $24.50. More you got, the less. So it was like you buy in bulk, buy everything you want at once. It reduces shipping costs. You pay there's no tax cost, so you end up coming out ahead. So yeah, I did a whole bunch of that. I know all about it. You gotta do that whole whatever that's called in economics. It's a marginal value or whatever. Donner Pest says bottle they had really good prices. Jason Fizz is Julio's Liquor, located out in East New Jersey. They have insane barrel picks. Oh, really? Julio's? Where's that? Is that near Philly? I'm looking right now, my friend. Westboro, MA. You said New Jersey? It's in Jersey? Oh, I see. I see one in Massachusetts. I'm not seeing one in Jersey. I might have to. Oh, here it is. Is it Joe Canals? If it is, I know that one. Wine and liquor outlet. I'm seeing a Julio's Liquors in Massachusetts. Unfortunately, they have strict laws. They don't ship anywhere. Whiskey is sick. They have 1792. Oh, he's on it. 12-year, 1792. Oh man, Whiskey Ace is gonna spend all his tax return right now. Kale Wines in Redwood is a small outlet liquor store that has Kilhelm and Castring stir picks that are awesome but pricey. Says Santa Cruz, and yeah, K&L was one of the places that would ship to DC. I remember that. Let me just look though real quick. I'm almost positive Santa Cruz and that you can get that Kilchoman. Yeah, there it is. Ooh, price went up a little bit, but not much. They still have it. Ace Spirits, Kilhoman, Mocker Bay, Meet the Pete Tour, 2019, $69.99, 58.6%. I don't know if someone let me put the link in here. There's a link if anybody wants to get themselves some Kilhoman castrate. Yeah, Jason. I think it looks like it's New Jersey. Or I mean, it looks like it's Massachusetts. What else they got at Ace Spirits these days? I haven't looked at this website in a minute. Oh man, they have a barrel bourbon 14 Ace Spirits single barrel select, 109. Damn. God, they have such good stuff on here. It's absurd. And I'm telling you, what I notice with a lot of these online places like this, like Ace Spirits, you know, they have all these, like most of their bourbon stuff goes real quick, but the scotches don't. And so if you're a scotch guy, you can hunt and find scotch. For example, Ace Spirits has a 13-year-old Pulteney single cask for $100. I got 2 of those. It's amazing. And they still have it. I swear I bought that 8 months ago. They still have it on here. It's ridiculous. So you can really, if you do a little hunting on these sites, you can really find a lot of good stuff. They have a ton of Maker's Mark private select barrels too, which is awesome. You can get 3. Oh yeah, here's that 3-pack. I wonder if this is what you were talking about. They got a 3-pack on here for $180 of 3 different ones. I don't know if it's from the distiller itself, but it says 2018 3-pack, Maker's Mark 46 private barrel select. Yeah, I don't know what that's all about. Looks good though. Santa Cruz says, "Where's Swami?" Yeah, I don't know, man. I haven't seen Swami hop on. We did a stream a couple weeks ago. We always have a good time, but Swami's probably got to work tomorrow. Kano's is great prices, and Indy Cast is really good. Donner, Santa Cruz says, "Donner, I need a chaperone when going in there." That's awesome. Well, shit. What time is it? Let's go till 1. We can go till 1. I gotta find something else. I'm not gonna drink any more of this cast strength. Hang on just 1 second. I'm gonna grab a. Let's see. Lefroy 25? No. I'm gonna grab that Lefroy 16. I'm gonna stick with the Pete. I haven't had this since I reviewed it over a month ago. So I'm hoping maybe it's opened up a little bit. This is that Lefroy 16-year-old. It's a little bit disappointing. First fill bourbon. God. And you look at it, you're like 48% first fill bourbon. This is going to be amazing. Not so much. Not so much amazing. All right. Let's pour a little bit of this. As you can see, I haven't done too much damage to it, which is for a good reason. I'll tell you, though, for Lefroy, it looks pretty good. It almost looks like they didn't add any coloring to it. Look at that. 16 years? That looks like right, doesn't it? It almost looks like they didn't add E150A to this. I don't understand why anybody does it anymore. And, like, here's another thing about Lefroy. Let's just say this. I love Lefroy, but, like, if you're going to add E150A to all your bottles, which they fucking basically do, why do you even bottle it in a green bottle to hide the color? What's the fucking point? After it's poured, they've already paid for it. So who cares? They don't know the color until they've actually drank it. And you can't see it through the bottle. So what's the point of even putting E150A in? Love you, Lefroy, but, like, what's the logic of this shit? Makes no goddamn sense. Why even bother? All right. Anyways, enough about that. We'll get off the soapbox. Here's one more look at that. It almost looks like an Ardbeg. It's like they didn't put E150A in this. You know they did, though. It's good, but man, it's like, it just doesn't have the complexity. It just doesn't have the complexity that you want. If any of you have had Laphroaig 18, you know what I'm talking about. Laphroaig 18 is just like every quarter second, there's some new note popping on in your mouth. This, it's very vanilla. It's very, I mean, you got the Laphroaig iodine, you got all of that going. I mean, this is oxidized for a month and a half. It smells good. It's good. It's a good Laphroaig. But it's like $100, whereas this, which is infinitely better and more complex and at a higher ABV, is $20 to $30 less. What's the point? I'm a sucker. That's what the point is. Donner, I need a chaperone. Have 1 dram left with Kilchoman 100% Isla barley, 8th edition. It's really good. I got to get that. I've never had any of the 100% barley. Now, those are peated, right, Donner? Those are some of the Kilchoman. That's one of the Kilchomans I've not had. I've seen the edition 7 and the edition 8. I haven't grabbed it yet, but I think I should. Yeah, this is one that I definitely think we should grab. And if any of y'all have had this before, let me know. But Donner passes, especially if it's all first fill burn. Yeah, the new Kilkerrans arrived in my area, says Jason Fist. New 8 cask strength sherry and 15 single cask, as did the Springbank Rumwood. And I'm more broken. Whoa, Kilkerran single cask strength 8-year-old sherry. Oh, man. I got to get my hands on that. Yeah. I have a bottle of I have a couple Kilkerrans. I got the 12. I also have the batch in progress sherry. And I have the peat in progress batch 1, which I think I did a review of. The peat in progress batch 1, which was really good. That was a really good one. Santa Cruz and said those are putting out way more than I make. There's so many new bottles as endless, dude. That's so real. They keep finding. I keep telling myself like I'm gonna go in and stop buying, but it's like I'm already thought about 2020, and I'm like, okay, I gotta get the Macallan Edition 6. I gotta get the Ardbeg, whatever their committee releases this year. I gotta get the Laphroaig cartridges because those are just ones that I'm gonna get, and then I'm gonna get the Elijah Craig, new batches of the barrel proof. But in between, there's gonna be like 5 or 6 things I know for sure. Every few months, I'm like, I need to get that. I need to get that. And it's more than you'll ever drink. That's for sure. It's hard. I'll tell you, save your money and avoid this Laphroaig 16. It's not that it's bad. It's not a bad whiskey. This is not worth your money. It's just not worth it. It's just missing something. It's missing like an extra step besides peat and sweet vanilla caramel bourbon notes. It's just missing something. Well, I'm the sucker who bought it. Donner says yes, but only 20 ppm, so half of the peat of the other Kilchoman. So that's an interesting thing you bring up, Donner Pass, because what I've found is that this like ppm, or like the amount of peat, is not indicative of how intense or smoky it is. The two smokiest whiskeys, well, let me preface this. I think I've had what are considered ppm wise the most intense scotches. I've had Octomore, I think 8.1 or 8.2. I don't remember which one it was. I've had, pretty much something from every Islay distillery that makes a heavily peated scotch. And then some from that aren't Islay. The Aaron Macklemore, the, Talisker, or whatever. And I'll tell you this, like, ppms don't. I thought when I first started noticing, like, oh, you measure parts per million with peat, that it actually has, like, there's a way to measure it, and that it might be indicative of how smoky a scotch is. I've actually just found the opposite to be true. I think the Octomore is a great example. I think the Octomore is really good. It's $200 a bottle. I'll never buy it, but it's really, really good stuff. But I don't think it's more intense or more smoky than Laphroaig 10. And to be honest with you, the two most intense smoky whiskeys I've ever had are Laphroaig Cartius quarter cast strength, which was 2017, and Ardbeg Corryvreckan. I think Ardbeg Corryvreckan is the most intense whiskey I've ever had, and I think it's like 85 parts per million compared to some of the Octomores, which are like 180 to 250 parts per million. I guess I assumed that when I first got the sample of an Octomore that this guy Lee Evolve graciously had sent to me, I was like, okay, here we go. This is going to be next level. And I was like, actually, it's really good whiskey, but it's not nearly as like overpowering, intense peat blast that I got off the Ardbeg Corryvreckan, which is one of the, just like I said, that whiskey blew my mind. It's not my favorite Ardbeg, but in terms of intensity, that was nuts. And same with the Laphroaig. So I think there might be some nuance to it. I'm not sure how it's described, or if there's like any consensus among experts on like, do ppms effectively capture the measurement of like peated smokiness in a scotch? But I guess in my experience, I just don't think it did. Whiskey Ace says, yeah, good price point for that Kilchoman. Yeah, man, when I tried Octomore, it wasn't even as peaty as other stuff. Yeah, totally. I agree. Ardbeg core range is such a great value. Yeah. Honestly, Ardbeg. I like, in general, it's tough to say. I've had more Laphroaigs. I think Laphroaig is what I have most of. In my like whiskey collection, I have a stupid amount of Laphroaigs. I have, God, I say this only for posterity. I have the Cartius for 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Quarter cask, triple wood, 25, 28, lore, cast strength 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then I think there's another one in there somewhere. Oh, one of the like travel exclusives. I went stupid on Laphroaig. Ardbeg, I've had Corryvreckan, Uigeadail. I mean, their core range, right, is 4 whiskeys: Anno, 10, Uigeadail, Corryvreckan. The Anno, I think, is like, it doesn't really do it for me. But I think the Ardbeg 10 and the Ardbeg Uigeadail are better than pretty much almost any Laphroaig I've had outside the Laphroaig 25, the Laphroaig 18, and the Laphroaig lore. Their core range is amazing, but their committee release stuff is super hit and miss. I have a bottle of the Dark Cove. That one was a hit. I have a bottle of the Kelpie. That one was a miss. The Drum is a definite miss. The Grooves is a borderline hit. They're like real inconsistent with their committee releases, and they're so expensive. This year, I don't think I'm going to do it. I mean, they're like $120, $130 a bottle. It's an NAS. It's like, who knows? The Ardbeg drum was garbage, in my opinion. I regretted buying it. I regretted opening it. I wish I would have just sat on it, sold it or something, because it's just, I mean, compared to the Ardbeg 10, which I think is just like amazing, the Ugadal, their committee release stuff, I think, is just a little bit too much money. So I'm with you. Whiskey says, you managed to keep all those bottles around? Is there a point where you just skip going back to bottle for a while and save it for later? Yes. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't know how much I have. 130, maybe? Or it's in that 100-ish range, probably right around there. I usually there are some things that I buy like doubles or triples of, right? And that's just to like stuff I know I'll want to have in the future, and I found a good price. So I have 3 bottles of Bruichladdich Black Art 4.1. I have 2 bottles of Laphroaig 25, but I got them at stupid prices. Like I got a bottle of Laphroaig 28 that this guy at a shop was selling for $200. I was like, I thought he was wrong. I tried my best not to like show my face. But I was like, how much is this Laphroaig 28? Because it said $199.99. He was like $199. I thought it was supposed to be $7. It wasn't. I bought it. I think I have it back here, actually. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Here it is. This guy sold me this bottle of Laphroaig 28 for $200. I was like, okay, I don't have $200 in my pocket right now, but I made it happen. Look at this. What? $200? So this is like, it just fell in my lap and I was ready to jump on it. So I'm going to, I don't know if I'll ever even open it or when I will. Maybe I'll sell it in like a decade or I'll open it in like 20 years. But, there's stuff like this where I've just bought that I know I probably won't open anytime soon. But the other stuff, I just kind of work through. I just found, like I said, when I moved to DC, or I moved from DC, I bought as much as I could afford to and had it shipped from California because it was so much cheaper. So I just built a stockpile of stuff. Whiskey Aces, just pick up Corey Vrecken and call it a day. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Ugadal is the best that they make. But if you're looking for intensity and just overwhelming, you want a powerful whiskey, Corey Vrecken. But yeah, I try to just set myself up in a way where if something random comes up over the course of hunting around, I want to be able to jump on opportunities. And I don't have a ton of money. So when an opportunity like a Laphroaig 28 comes around and somebody's trying to sell it to me for $200 because they don't either know or care and they own a shop and they just want to get rid of it, I don't understand. I was like, yeah, okay, I'll fucking do this. So I've saved up stuff over the years in that sense. If I found stuff at good prices, because I know that worst case scenario, I can sell it later and it would be worth more than I paid for it and then some. But the rest of it's just random stuff. I think I'm probably in that 120, 130 range and stuff I've just picked up over the years. Most of it I'll drink, but there are a couple special bottles like the Laphroaig 28, Laphroaig 25, Black Art. I think I have an old Pulteney 21, Ball Blair 25s. I'll just sit on and see what happens. Maybe I'll drink them later. Donner Passes scored damn 28. What's the ABV? I know, right? It's the craziest shit ever. I'm telling you, Jason, so here's how it went down. My brother texted me and he was like, my brother's a bourbon guy, but he'll text me periodically because he sees scotches, right? He sees these scotches and he's like, you want this one? Would this be something you want? I'm like, yeah, of course. And then he tells me the price and he's like, they're absorbing it. I'm like, yeah, fuck that. So one day he texted me a picture of this Laphroaig 28. And I was like, oh yeah, that would be great. And he's like, dude, you should come by here. He's selling it for $200. And I was like, what? So I come in and I'm like looking at the price. I'm like $199. I go back up there and I'm like, I'm assuming it's supposed to be $7.99. And I'm like, how much is this whiskey? Can you double check it for me? And he was like, yeah, it's $199. I'm like, take my card. It is bottled at 44.4%. It's matured in quarter casks, ex-bourbon barrels, and Oloroso sherry butts, and then bottled at cask strength. So 44.4% is cask strength. Obviously, because it's at 28 years old, it's, you have stuff you lose in the barrel. So this was bottled at cask strength, and then, that's what you end up with. But yeah, I don't even think I've ever taken it out of here. This will probably be I know they make like a Laphroaig 32 and stuff, but I'll never be able to afford that in my life. So yeah, there'll be some day that this will be worth opening it. Here's what the bottle looks like. 28. Crazy, hey? Sometimes shit just pops in your hands, man. You gotta jump on it. Coppery gold with a taste that is sweet, complemented by peppery spices, and finishing with a lingering peaty flavor and touch of iodine and seaweed, reminiscent of maritime origin. Their advertising is so hilarious. They make it sound so unappetizing. Do you want to drink sewer water? Anyways, so yeah, this was just, I'm not the kind of person that the most I've ever spent on a bottle is like $300. This just fell in my lap and I didn't hesitate. So we'll see what happens with that. We still got 7 folks on. Yes, damn, the 28. Yeah, the 25 Laphroaig's $449. Yeah, I know. It's nuts. It is too good to be true, Fisk. Like, how does that even happen? Right? Like, this dude, it's not like he was some idiot. The guy runs a legitimate liquor store. Legit liquor store. Like, this guy knows what he's doing. And like, I'm like, he's selling Laphroaig 28 for $200. I asked him, I was like, do you have any more? And he did. Because he probably, it was allocated. He probably got 2 or 3. But I was like, I'll buy every one of these you fucking have. Depending on market value in the future, I think you should drink it. Or the 25 is the bee's knees. Yeah, I have 125 open. I have one other bottle of the 25. Which, yeah, I'll definitely drink at some point. Santa Cruz and a clear bottle. Yeah, right. Interesting, isn't it? The Laphroaig, the 25. Actually, let me double check. I think the 25 is actually in a green bottle. There it is. Yeah. Here's the 25. It's also in one of these like gregarious wood bottles. These ostentatious wood bottles. Yeah, the 25 is in a green bottle. This one's also cask strength, 48.9%. I've drank a considerable amount of that one already. This one I bought. This was like, I found it for $310. So I grabbed 2 of them. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm just going to do this. Bite the bullet. It's good, but I'll tell you, it's not my favorite Laphroaig. It's amazing. But again, like price-wise, right? Yeah, it's probably the best Laphroaig. You're right. It's probably the best Laphroaig I've drank. But if I'm thinking about like how much I'm willing to spend on a whiskey, I'll take this all day, every day. Fuck it. I ain't going to be drinking 25-year-old Laphroaigs. Charlie says, greetings from Villa Esperanza of Pavos in Costa Rica. Hey, Charlie, how you doing? Thanks for joining. You've joined at, wow, it is 1 a.m. 28 says, color was kind of interesting, kind of orange, amber, red hue. Yeah, so let me actually grab that one more time. I think and again, this is the thing with Laphroaig. Like, I wouldn't put it past them to put artificial coloring in a 28-year-old whiskey. But yeah, if you look at that, I mean, that is very much reddish. So here's what it says. Again, ex-bourbon, quarter casks, Oloroso sherry butts. So, I mean, did Oloroso sherry add all that color to it? I'm suspect. It doesn't say anything on the bottle about being natural color. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't put it past them to have added coloring to this, to be completely honest. As freaking depressing as that sounds. If you're adding coloring to your 28-year-old whiskey, who knows? I don't know. Hard to beat Freud cast strength? Yeah, I totally agree. I'll take Laphroaig cast strength all day. Charlie, it's good to see you. How are things in Costa Rica? And Jason Fisk is asking the same question that's on my mind. Can you buy decent whiskey there? I don't know anything about. I've never been to Costa Rica. I've actually never been to South America. I've been to Mexico, but not really anywhere in Central or South America. I'd be interested to hear if you can find anything good there. I'm going to stick around for about another 10 or so. We'll make it an even 2 hours tonight before I got to hit it. But I do have a little bit of this Mockery Bay left. I'll drop that link one more time in case anybody was still interested in getting that but couldn't find it. Where is that Kilchoman? Man, they got some. Has anybody had this USA small batch Kilchoman? What is this all about? I don't know if you've seen this. This looks like some new thing. I don't know anything about it, but if you're looking to grab this Kilchoman Mockery Bay Meet the Pete cast strength, this is the link you want. They'll probably ship it anywhere in the United States. Sherry could do that. Who knows that? Yeah, it could, I guess, right? I mean, how much though? I mean, you're talking about how much Oloroso sherry aging would have to be. I mean, 28 years, right? But like, God, that's so red. I don't know. If I ever drink it sometime, I'll be sure to review it. I do have a review video of the 25, but I think I did a top 5 Laphroaigs. I think the Laphroaig 25 made it to Laphroaig 25 was third on my list just because of the, it's just so expensive. And I think the 18 is a little bit better. Nick Sovich says, I believe bourbon, CC, and Oloroso is what makes their triple wood. Yeah, you're right. I think that's absolutely right. The triple wood is non-chill filtered too, which is cool. I think you're totally right on that. I think the triple wood, I feel like flies under the radar too. I think that was a really, really good Laphroaig. Yeah, here it is. Here we go. Laphroaig triple wood is ex-bourbon, quarter cask, and European sherry. You're totally right, Nick. Yeah. And it's unchill filtered. Bottle at 48%. It's an NAS, but come on, man. It's great. Show says, yeah, but some are too expensive. Oh, I can imagine. I can only imagine. Do you live down there, Charlie, or do you are you just visiting? And where are you in Costa Rica? San Juan? I'm sorry, it's not San Juan. What am I thinking? It's too late at night. Or is it San Juan? Or San Jose, my bad. San Juan is Puerto Rico. Getting my cities mixed up. It's too late. It's too late at night / early in the morning for me to be doing geography. Are you in San Jose or are you somewhere else in Costa Rica? Anyways, if any of you end up jumping on that Kilchoman cast strength, let me know. I'm going to be doing a review video of this relatively soon, so let me know in the chat on it. I'll probably do it in like the next month or so. Spoiler alert. It's definitely over 4. Their stuff is so damn good. So damn good. Anyways, it's So yeah, I'm gonna hang out for a few more minutes. I'm interested though, if any of you guys have any whiskeys you're looking forward to this year. I am, as I was saying a little bit earlier in the chat, the Laphroaig is apparently doing a Carchis. The Carchis release this year is going to be port and red wine finish. I haven't been able to confirm this, but somebody in one of my whiskey groups posted a preliminary pick of the label and said that it was legit. If that's the case, I'm very much looking forward to it. Let's see if it comes up at all. Yeah, here it is. If anybody's interested, I don't know how credible this website is. They don't link. Oh yeah, they do link to a secondary source. Laphroaig Carchis Port and Wine Casks has been revealed as 2020's bottling of the annual Carchis release. A marriage of sweetness and smoky peat flavor. Laphroaig is described as having aromas of, quote, dark chocolate and menthol with pink peppercorns, with notes of toasted peaches, charred marshmallows, and a hint of plum jam on the palate, all intertwined with Laphroaig's iodine-rich peat smoke, resulting in a combination of honey sweet taste and Laphroaig's signature medicinal smoke flavor. Laphroaig Carchis Port and Wine Cask will be bottled at non-chill filter at 52% ABV and is expected to hit stores in the spring of summer 2020. Here's the link if anybody's interested in reading about it. I am looking forward to this. I'm not even going to lie. This sounds like it's going to be a really... I get excited about the Carchis line every year. So this sounds like it'll be a pretty good one. Hopefully, it'll be readily available around the Philadelphia, South Jersey area, and hopefully you guys can get your hands on it too. Jason Fisk says Alberta is getting a Hazelburn single cask soon. Not sure on the details yet, but it's on my must-have list. Oh man, yeah. I have a bottle of the Hazelburn 13. I think I did a review of that one too, actually, which was just stunningly good. Probably one of the best sherried whiskeys I've ever had. So a single cask, that sounds absolutely amazing. That's something we definitely got to get our hands on. Come on, Santa, we love you. Santa Cruz, great tonight, Rabbit. Quality people in the chat. Everybody but me, of course. Oh, please. You know we love you, man. Appreciate you swinging by, Santa Cruz. And as always, I think we met back in the day on one of the Quig streams. Appreciate you checking out my channel and hopping on the chat tonight, man. You always got interesting stuff to say. And great taste in whiskey. All right, y'all. With that, I got to wrap things up for the night. It is about after 1 a.m. here on the East Coast, and so I got to get on with getting on. But thanks for everybody swinging by, man. Really, really appreciate it. This is the reason I ever even created the channel, was the fact that I could spend time with folks who know good stuff about whiskey and love chatting about it. So appreciate you all very, very much. I'll have a couple other reviews posted up relatively soon, and I'll catch you around. Take good care, y'all.